But today is taste and smell. Y'all ready? Now, uh, as I was sitting in my thinking chair, I was thinking about the things I think about. I was sitting there and I was thinking about taste and smell. And one thing about taste, uh, I've gone over like the physical part to it. Taste can open up a world to you. I love to taste new things. Now, majority of it I don't like, which is okay. But tasting new experiences takes you to a whole new thing. And experiencing other cultures gives you a chance through taste to experience what they experience and share some of the things that they love. One of the weirdest things, my daughter was just asking me, I guess she was watching Friends or something, and they were screaming unagi. And I was like, you know what unagi is? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And she was like, have you ever had that? And I'm like, yeah. Unagi is eel, and grilled eel. Grilled eel is it's not bad at all. I've had raccoon, which was something I wouldn't go out and order at a restaurant, but it was really, really good. And, I think it also depends on who prepares it. Prepares the food that you're going to taste. But I was just sitting back in my thinking chair and I was thinking about all of the things that happen with the five senses. And when you apply the five senses, this is the awesome thing about it. You learn through new experiences. Okay? And you enhance that experience by using all five. And I know you say you might not want to taste everything. Like if you outside, you don't want to taste the ground. But that's physical taste. But in a mental sense, tasting is pretty much your you've ever heard of somebody saying, your taste is different? Morning, son. Your taste, really in the mental sense, it boils down to your personality and what you like and what you don't like, what your character and your integrity tell you or tell about you. But I was just covering taste in my mind, and I was thinking about all of the different experiences, and that brings to smell. Taste and smell are always linked. It seems like if you get one of the symptoms of COVID is you don't have taste or smell, because they're linked. you can't really have one without the other, really, sort of, kind of. I remember I had a sinus infection and I couldn't smell anything. And all the food that I tasted, it just pretty much tasted like salt. So if I had spaghetti or if I had some pancakes, it tasted the same. And no, I didn't have COVID. It was a sinus infection. But it was a really bad sinus infection. Never had it that bad before. But smell. Let's get into smell. Studies show that smell or aromas affects part of your brain. And the part that it affects, or the part that processes, is the same parts that processes learning. So one of the statistics that it had in the Ichigo Ichie book was we roughly remember about 3% of what we see, 5% of what we hear, and 35% of what we smell. And I added this variant. It probably varies between what kind of learner you are, like if you're kinesthetic or auditory. If you're whatever your learning style is. But I think the difference between the three are so great because smell, when we smell something or taste and smell something, we attach emotions to it. Uh, I don't know if you ever had something that's, like um, the other day I had a steak and I sat down. I was like, okay, this steak looks well seasoned. And it was. And I sat down with a guy who owned his own business and he was talking about steaks. And me sitting down, just looking at this steak and starting to smell it, when I tasted it, I was like, yep, this is what he was talking about. And it immediately took me back to that conversation. He was like, a good steak doesn't need sauce, it doesn't need ketchup, it doesn't need anything because it's seasoned good and you should enjoy what's there. And that one, it was good. It really didn't need anything because it was marinated the way it was should have been. So it didn't need help. And that's what uh, I just went back. I mean, in my little description, you'll see it. I just sitting in my thinking chair, thinking about the things I was thinking about. When I smell chlorine, just think about this. If you smell chlorine, what's the first thing you think about? You think about the pool. And I think about me coming up, well, maybe 10 or 11, might even been younger, 9 or, but I took swimming lessons at the YMCA. And when I smell chlorine, first thing I think about is uh, trying to see underwater, which was like the greatest thing once you finally get the courage to open your eyes and it burns, but you can see, you can look around and things without goggles. Um, I think of it. It's not so happy experience, but I always remember this trying to dive. They rate you on diving. Nope, do it again, and you belly flopping. Sitting at trying to jump it. I mean, trying to dive off the diving board and just all your body is burning, and they like, nope, do it again. So, just diving for the very first time, the very correct way, but all of the chlorine and everything got up your nose and everything. Oh man, I just got those memories and lining up as a kid. I'm kind of one of the taller ones, so I get to tower over all these short ones and stuff like that. Uh, while we were lining up at the pool, yeah. Uh, Another smell is a landfill, and a landfill is like a horrible smell, but it brings back the best memories for me because my grandfather, he lived it was kind of in front of a landfill. There was a landfill behind his house. So the whole area didn't didn't smell good. But whenever I'm driving through Atlanta or somewhere and I smell a landfill, I know the smell. I immediately think of adventures, like going through the woods around my grandfather's house, meeting up with my cousin, us doing the craziest things, actually sneaking into the junkyard. My mom would kill us if when she sees this, she's probably gonna call me. But we would sneak in and just like just have an adventure, just try to find some treasure or something like that, or just going through the woods trying to find bird eggs and trying to build forts or hiding from my brother and my cousins. Really, really good memories, and those take me back whenever I smell it. And I know, and this is kind of like taste. your personality is different. When you smell a landfill, you probably be like, "Oh my goodness, we got to get out of here." And I'm like, man, I remember trying to climb a tree and falling. Or I remember, you know, pecans everywhere at my grandfather's house, all over the ground. And it's like, I don't like nuts, but if you wanted something to eat, you had pecans everywhere, everywhere. You could not step 1 foot, 2 feet without crushing 20 pecans. They'd be everywhere. So we would throw them at each other and, do what kids do. But like I said, smell takes you back. And what's so good about smell, taste and smell, is that it accomplishes the Ichigo Ichie. Let me turn this light off. It takes you into a moment in time, right? And that moment in time, will never be experienced again. But if you apply all 5 senses, it takes you into that thing. You can see how Ichigo Ichie is incorporated, because when you taste and smell and you think about the things that you see, the things that are surrounding. If we had tea together like we're doing right now, kampai again, as we're having tea, you have this surrounding, right? And not only that, you have the things that you hear, this conversation that we're having. And, what I hope that you got all out of all of this whole week, that there is a touching that happens. The warmth of the cup. Not only that, but in the spiritual or the mental state, the warmth of the words that are being used to touch your mind and to feed your mind. Let all these aesthetics or this whole environment, this whole Ichigo Ichie, feed your mind to take you to a place where you think about things. And as you think about things, you remember the 6 magic words. We become what we think about. So that concludes this week. This weekend, and especially 4th of July, try to have an Ichigo Ichie that you can remember and log into the history of you. And I love you very much. Have a great weekend. Kampai.